and welcome back to another Digging Cincinnati History how-to video. Today we're going to explore the Sanborn Fire Insurance Maps that are available from the Public Library of Cincinnati and Hamilton County. Today I'm at the Digital Library, and the library has lots of information already available just on their website. You don't even have to leave your home to explore what the library has. But today I'm going to scroll down pretty far down on the page. You may take some time and explore this website for the wealth of information they've provided us. But today I'm going to scroll down to find the maps and atlases, which is right here. And I'm going to click on that link. And that's going to take us to the collection of maps and atlases that the library has on their website. And you can see over here on the right-hand side of the screen, there's some recent additions that they show. And if we scroll down over here on the left side of the screen, they give us a bit of the collection that's available under browse these suggested topics. So you can see some different choices here. We're going to go to the Sanborn Fire and Insurance Maps. Maybe another time in another video I'll explore some of the other selections that are available here at the public library. Now let me explain a little bit about what the Sanborn Fire Insurance Maps are. These maps were created by the Sanborn Insurance Company to figure out for the underwriters how to value a property based on its construction. So they would have people who would go about the city and they would look at each building to find out if it was constructed of wood or brick, if it was used for a business or if it was residential. All kinds of great information were recorded on these maps. So here we're going to look. You can see here, I'm scrolling down just a little on the page to show you that there's different volumes available, and these cover different areas of the city. And so when I first started out, I had to kind of hunt and peck around to find out where these volumes were. Well, then I finally figured out that there were some overview pages available, and I created this photograph of the maps combined together. So this shows you most of Hamilton County, and the areas that are colored in with the different colors are the areas that the map covers, or that each volume covers. So you can see here volume 1 is here in the western part of downtown. Volume 2 is on the eastern part of downtown and goes up into Walnut Hills area a little bit in Mount Auburn. And so you can kind of get an idea of where your volume for your house would fall. Okay, let's go back to the digital library, and I'm going to click on volume 1 so I can show you a little bit more information on how this collection is. I'm also going to show you another way of accessing these maps from the library that I find a bit easier, but this is the main collection page that they have. So if we scroll down here on the main bar on the right side of your screen, we can see that there is some other windows within this page. So here we can see we're on a title page, and here now I'm scrolling on the bar that's inside of the web page. And this tells us it's the title page, and it gives us a little information. It shows that it's volume 1, and it shows this one was copyrighted originally in 1904. And so we can just get a bit of information from there. Over here, you can see we've got multiple scroll selections here on our screen. I'm going to come over here where it says thumbnails. There's this little title up here at the top. And I'm going to scroll down within this bar. And here we can see there's an index. And I'm click on that, and it takes a little bit for this website to load its pages. And so once that comes up, I'm going to scroll back down all the way on the right side to down the side of the screen. And you can see that this is a street index. I know it's a little small. I am using, again, Google Chrome, but your screen might come up a little different. But you can usually click on these to enlarge them so you can read them a bit better. And so this is a street index. That's where we're here. Let's see. Trying to find some more information on here for us. If you scroll down more on the page, you can see some more information from the library. Usually when you hover with this selection here, if you get a menu, yours might look a little different since I am using Google Chrome. But this one here that looks like the old floppy disks we used to use is a way to save each page that you come on. So you can click that button, and then you'll be able to save that page. I'll show you an easier way to do it when we go to the other source from the library where we can see information. I'm sorry if I'm stumbling around a little bit here. I'm getting used to this new digital library that the public library has put together, so I'm still trying to kind of exploring how all these controls work myself. So here I've clicked on the key map, and this gives us a close-up a little bit more of these different numbers. These different numbers are actually the pages within the volume. So this tells you what page number within the volume your individual block or collection of streets was located under. And over here, I've scrolled down again on this little inside scroll bar. And over here, if we look, you can see that there's some dates, and it's a bit small, so let me enlarge here. And you can see that it says that these maps were corrected, and then it gives us what date that they were corrected. So we can see they were corrected in 1905, 1907, 1910, 12. So you can see where they were updated almost yearly, every 2 years at least, up until 1930 for this volume. And so that is really helpful information to see when those different changes were made. And if you see down here, I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. It gives us kind of an over volume to the index again, not as specific as the picture that I had, but kind of just a brief overview of where the different volumes covered. And here we have a key. Now the key is very important, and I will enlarge this one. Now this one's for volume 1 from 1904. A 1917 volume might have a little bit different key. So here we can see that there's different colors what we're going to find on our maps, and this tells us different information. Pink means that it was a brick building, and then you can see that depending on the different indications here, it might have some other things. It might have a stone front or a frame side. Here, if we see this kind of orangish color, shows us that it was a brick veneered building. So that means just the outside was coated in brick. This one shows that it's brick and frame. So it's kind of hard to see in this image here. Let me see if I can zoom in. You can see it's got a little bit of a yellow inside and then a pink border on the outside. Same here. Pink border on the outside, which means it was brick on the first floor, which is why it says brick first. And then the second floor would have been frame. Here, yellow, just a plain yellow building is always a frame building. That means wood construction. A blue building is a stone building. If you have kind of a brownish brick, that is considered a fireproof building. So you can see some different information here. If on the map a D is marked on the building, it was a dwelling. And you can, if you just scroll down at the key, there's just all kinds of great information on here that gives you more information once you go find your building on a map. So feel free to play around and explore. That's how I learned most of the things I learned how to do with my researching. So I'm just going to scroll down here. I'm just going to pick one of these pages from the map. I'm going to try and find something that's possibly familiar to us within the downtown area. So I'm just going to scroll down here a little bit. You can see this website is a little bit slow to load because there's so many images here. And that's why I'm going to show you an alternative for searching on the library's website. Well, let me show you a map here. I'm just going to choose this one. This is page 20 from volume 1, and we'll both be surprised to see where we're at here. Here we can see some street names now and some other bits of the map. So here we're at Bay Miller and 6th Street, so this is in the West End area. And you can see here on these maps what great detail we have here. Let me zoom in a little bit more so we can actually read some things here. You can see, here's a fireproof building. It's that brownish color. Here we have Henry Diston and Sons. Again, it shows us, just like on the old Sanborn maps that we looked at previously, that it does show us some businesses. Here it shows us that this building was pink, but there was a part of the frame building still inside here. Again, let me scroll down the page a little bit here. Here we can see there was an ice cream company on 6th Street. Here we can see here there's a dwelling. So there's lots of information here. S usually means a store, so there would have probably been a storefront like on the first floor of this building here where there's an S. If you look at these little numbers here right above the S and right above the D, these numbers tell you how many stories the building was. This one is interesting. It also shows us that this was a tenement building. These back here are frame structures. So this could have been an outdoor, a first floor kitchen that would have been added on to the building. Again here. And back here you can see these little tiny yellow wooden frame buildings. Those are usually your outhouse. And so that's really interesting. If you can find that on your property, you could have someone excavate to see if there is anything in your old privy, because they often used them as their dumpsters. And so you can find old pieces of pottery or broken toys, something that would tell you about your ancestors. So it's really helpful to know where those structures were. If it is a bigger structure in the rear of the property and it has an X over it, much like this one, that is usually a stable. Let me see if I can find anything on here. I don't see any of these. There's not an alleyway here for an access for these buildings to have had a stable to back up to, but sometimes you will see that. Here you can see this one says it's a wagon shed. If you can see my mouse there. Here's a blacksmith shop. All kinds of great information on these maps. So the best way to find your street is to go to this big overview map that I have here, and you have to find out which neighborhood you're in. So that kind of gives you an idea of what volume to look for first. And then once you have figured out which volume you fall into, then if you go to this key map, and then once you get there, then you're able to zoom in to figure out what street or what page of the volume you need to go to, because you'll be able to recognize the intersections around your neighborhood. So that's how to access them from the digital library. Now I'm going to show you how these were originally posted on the public library's website, and it was originally called their virtual library. And luckily they still have this up for us because that digital library is a little bit slow on loading pages and a little hard to research when you're trying to look for just one page. And so here I'm going to show you that they have some of the same information that's on the digital library is also here on the virtual library. Today we're going to go to the downloadable maps. And if you notice, this looks very familiar. Here's our Sanborn Fire Insurance Maps again, all 8 volumes. And so if you know that your property is on, let's just say volume 1 today, and you have your overview map that you know what page it is, but I'm going to give you a little hint here. For volume 1, the overview map is on page 00. And so if you're not sure, you can still go and find the overview map. Let's let this load for a second here. And here we go. You can see the overview map. And again, you get your menu from whatever browser you're using that opens the Acrobat PDF file. And you can save these to your computer. You can zoom in and out. You can even print these if you would like. That way you would have a key of that volume. So I'm going to post a link to my key that shows you the volumes, the index pages, and the overview maps that will help you navigate around a bit more. So that if you know that your property is on page 20 in volume 1, you can just go directly to that. You don't need to scroll down the side of the digital library site. This will take you directly to that same map we were looking at before. So it's a little bit quicker. It's just a little less confusing with all the different scroll bars on the screen. So I find this site a lot easier to use. Again, once you get the menu that pops up, you can just save this map to your computer. And so that way you can access it again at another time. Let me see what other information we can share here. Here on this map, we can see that there's a blue building down here towards the right side of the screen. That's where I was showing you before. It was a stone building, and blue usually means that it was also a commercial building. So that's just a little shared information there for you. Let me make sure that I've covered everything for you. I will also post a link that will in the description below that will show you which neighborhoods are covered in each volume. So if you do have my book, this is located in the section about the Sanborn maps. Um, they were it, they were useful that they made this little index over here, and I put this in my book for you to make it a little easier so that you can see which neighborhood that your volume that your neighborhood would fall in. Excuse me. So it's kind of funny here. You see this neighborhood here is called Coney Island because that was near Coney Island. So that would be volume 7. And so you'll notice some of the names have changed. Some of them are not the same. Interesting here that there is one called Longview from the old Longview Mental Hospital. That is now what we call today is Roselawn. On here, you'll also see Winton Place, which has now been changed to Spring Grove Village. But for the most part, you will see your neighborhood on here. But I will also put a link in the description below that will send you to a page that will show you which neighborhoods are located in which volumes. So I hope this has been helpful. Please leave me a comment if you need more help on how to research. Please like, subscribe, and share my videos with your friends and family. Help them on their journeys to finding their home's ancestors. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.